What is up, you guys? Today on What the Fuck is Rocky Doing? Because he's not working on a house, which I did work on the Pleasant house today. It just wasn't exciting enough to make a episode of Rocky's Remodels. Anyway, working on the Superjet. This is an 05 round nose Superjet. Very cool, very clean, very fast. Love it a lot. Today what we're doing is we're trimming the back of the ski off and replacing all the foam inside. So because, look at that water droplet. I hate it. So if you look in here, there's a bunch of water, which, yeah, I don't like that. So I'm gonna cut the back of the ski off, replace all the foam. First I gotta take the trim nozzle off, the ride plate off, part of the pump off, and then we'll start cutting, and I'll show you guys where I'm cutting and why and all that. Alright, so I got the ride plate and the nozzle and trim, everything disconnected. Got the steering just kind of chilling there. I think I'm gonna leave it. But I pulled one of those drain plugs, lots of water. So basically that's what I'm going to try to mitigate by removing this waterlogged foam. What I'm going to do is come back about 2 inches. I was talking to a friend of mine, he said 2 inches would be good. We're going to remove these back pieces of the ski. I've considered shortening it. I think I'll think about it because I can't do this whole process in a day. So I'll think on it and check the forums and stuff, but a shortened ski would be easier to flip, but it'd be harder to ride, and I like to ride. So we'll think about that. But yeah, 2 inches back here, 2 inches back on the outside, pull this piece off, and then we'll get to the foam on the inside. Okay, so I lied. I didn't do 2 inches. I did 1 inch because if I did 2 inches, I'd be right in the middle of my ride plate hole. I didn't want to do that, so I hope that I didn't just fuck up majorly for any reason. But I think 2 inches or 1 inch will be okay. I'm going to draw, I think I'm just going to cut straight across here, and then we'll glue that back in. So next step is cutting. I don't like to cut my ski because I love my ski, but it's got to be done. So let's see what happens. I just cut with the little Harbor Freight oscillating tool because my DeWalt one's over at the Pleasant house. Okay, so this thing is free. Let's see what's inside. Ew. Yeah, look at that. Look how much water's in that. Yeah, that's gross. Okay, so we're going to be replacing all this. It kind of looks to me like somebody replaced it before, but we'll do a better job. Now to cut this side. So I gently pried on this thing, on the exhaust nozzle. It doesn't come off. I Googled it. Apparently it's riveted on or welded on or something on the inside. So that's going to stay for now, and I'm going to think about what to do with that. I'm going to start pulling this foam out, this mushy, gushy, gross waterlogged foam. And yeah, let's see how that goes on this side, and then we'll figure out what to do over here. Okay, I've gotten about as much as I can get out of there. I'm back to the back wall. There's still some in there in the middle that I'm not going to be able to get to, but it looks like this tray's been removed before. I might just pull the tray. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with that. But there's an immense amount of water. There's actually water sitting back there. And all this foam right here, any dark foam is full of water. This stuff, not so much, but this does have water content in it. This stuff is the worst, though. It's like actually like I can feel it on my hand. Like it's very wet. So I think that's where a large portion of my water weight was coming from. Let's see what we can get ourselves into with this side. Maybe I can pull the exhaust off from the inside or something. I don't know. I'll look. Okay, so breakthrough. This flange does come off. You have to disconnect the exhaust tube on the inside, put screwdrivers behind this till you can pry it out, and then I came up with a really genius way of getting the thing undone. I took the exhaust clamp, or flange, and drilled 2 self-tappers, made perfectly aligned holes. Then I was able to put this on, how did I do it? Put it on here like, so anyway, I put it on here and I was able to bust this thing loose, turn all the foam off of it. Let me see if I can, sorry, the cinematography sucks today. Yeah, there we go. And then I was able to turn it. So now it's broken loose. I should be able to pry that out because all the foam was holding it in place. Okay, so after some trying, I got this thing out. It's just prying. This flange right here is the most difficult part to get out because the hole in the bulkhead right right there is this exact diameter, so it really wants to bind up. But look at this, nice spongy, gross, nasty, wet, soupy. We're getting it out, boys. Okay, I seem to have lost my flashlight, but once I was inside here and started pulling foam, look at that. That's water. That's standing water in here. That's absolutely where all this water weight is coming from. So I gotta find a hole and patch wherever that hole is. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I figured out, well, there's the water so you guys can actually see it. I figured out what one of my problems is. My footholds right here, those are aftermarket. Whoever put these in didn't seal them very well, and that's fiberglass coming off. Even if I hit that barely with my little saw stick here, that should not have come off that easily. It should have been bonded on extremely well. So yeah, now I get to replace my footholds. I'm not too stoked about that. This is going to turn into a gigantic project. I have no idea how long I've been doing this, but I devised various tools out of just metal that I had laying around and a broken ride plate. And I got this thing pretty much gutted. You can see light through there, which is good. That's my trim cable up top. But yeah, it's pretty much out. Everything I could get to anyway. The steering cable really kind of messed me up in there. But yeah, and that's the exhaust hole right there. And this is all the foam. So this stuff you can see is very porous, absorbed lots of water. A lot of the darker stuff seems to be like this right here. Seems to have a pretty high content of water. When you touch it, your fingers get wet. And then, yeah, just generally gross, nasty, very wet. So I'm thinking my ski is going to weigh a lot less. I'm going to bag this up and tell you how much it weighs, and then we will sign out for the night. Quick, I did want to point out that thing that I found up there was not part of the foothold. As you can see, the foothold is pretty intact. I think it was a little buffer in between the exhaust, which rode right past there, and the foothold to keep it from heating up, so I'll have to mitigate that when I finish up. This is the bag of shit. It weighs about, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds. But after thinking about this, instead of plugging every single hole I have, why don't I do something else to mitigate the situation? I'm thinking ping pong balls, or more specifically beer pong balls, so that they don't dissolve in water like ping pong balls do. But I'll have to run some tests and see what I come up with on that. I think that'd be really cool though. Be like, oh yeah, my ski's full of ping pong balls. That's how it floats, if it sinks. But anyway, that's installment 1 in gutting the Superjet. See you guys next time. All right, we're back working on the Superjet again. And what we're going to be doing today is blowing all this crap, all that, out with the hose. Hopefully that works. We'll see what happens. All right, we got some foam out of here. Now we got to figure out how to dry this. Maybe a blower, air compressor, something like that. And then I will plug those, where are they? That hole back there with foam. And then after we do that, it's either going to be Amazon for ping pong balls or Spencer's. I'll see if they've got high quality beer pong balls for cheap, because they're like $10 for 12 dozen on Amazon. Alright, boys and girls, I got supplies. This is insulated pipe tubing. It's closed cell. It shouldn't absorb any water. But if it does get any water in there, where is it? Not that. Another bilge pump. I've got two 800s in the engine bay, and then I'm going to put one back in there at the furthest, deepest point, and then I'm going to fill the whole thing with pool noodles, and then I'm going to use this to glue the ends back on. So that's what's happening now. Okay, after further investigation, I'm going to put my bilge on this side. I'm going to run it out through the stock hole right there. That's where they filled the foam, I think. this side's a little dirty. I need to clean that out. But there's a big gash right there. I'm gonna fill that with epoxy before I foam it. So that's the update. I gotta figure out how I'm going to affix this in there. And I just used dryer hose. It came with a nice little rubber gasket. I like that a lot. So we'll see what happens next. I got my pump glued in, and I'm starting to fill it with foam. I think for this side, I might cut off the pieces and stack them together and super glue them or something so they're a little bit more one piece, but I think that'll work out good. I got that side packed, got this side almost packed. The exhaust has to go on this side, so basically what's going to happen is I'm going to have to gently wiggle it back into the hole way back there, and with the faceplate on it and the fiberglass piece on the end, and then hold it out far enough that I can still glue this before I shove it all the way in. Glued back on, boys and girls. Yeah, so that's the first coat of epoxy. I'll sand it down, probably do another coat just for good measure, make sure that's all nice. I'm holding it in place with red tape instead of clamps because I don't have any clamps, and red tape is pretty good shit. So that's that. Now I'm going to hook up this dealio to either that bilge line or that bilge line. I think that one's going to be easier to get to, so we'll do that one. All right, boys and girls, she's in. This is my bilge tube coming through stock foam hole, and it goes up and it goes into a T right here into one of my other bilges, and then it's going to come out the side. That's the outlet, and then I just finished the wiring and we hit the switch. You can hear them all fire up, so that's good. All done. Only thing left to do is reconnect the exhaust pipe, but I'm going to wait because I don't want to put any undue stress on my joints back here. I'm actually hopeful that you won't even really see this once it's done, but we'll see. There's a little separation. I wonder what's going on there. I'll have to patch that. But anyway, yep, that is basically how you refoam a Superjet. If you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, see you next time on What the Fuck is Rocky Doing Today? Goodbye.